I keep pulling up my phone. I feel so rude. But the questions are on my phone, okay? Questions are on my phone. Well, again, kind of shifting the conversation here, but I want to talk about this. You're a queer woman of faith. Do you find yourself ostracized by other members of the community because of your faith?
It happens.
Yeah.
It does happen. I get a lot of compliments too.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
And I do have friends in queer community that they believe too. We go to church together.
Really?
Yeah. Like every time I go to Mosaic a lot, the one in Hollywood. Every time I want to go, I literally shoot them a text or on Instagram. Hey, I'm going tomorrow. You want to go together? And then we just we become a group of 5-6 people. They don't talk because it's just judged. It's really judged a lot.
It's really judged.
But I actually know a few that you know them too, but I don't think they said in public that they believe too. But
Wow, that's so interesting.
I'm not alone.
Yeah. I mean, it is a very judged thing. And again, understandably so. We grow up with this hyper-Christian mentality that being gay is not okay, right? And it's kind of shoved down our throats. But I will say I went to Catholic school, and I actually went back to speak at my high school because they formed a gay-straight alliance after I had graduated, and they asked me to come back to speak. And one of our religion teachers asked me how I felt about Christianity. And I said, true Christians love you no matter who you are. People who ostracize you or villainize you for being gay, those aren't real Christians in my book. Jesus never said anything about gay people. No, not once. He loved no matter who you were. So why do you consider yourself a Christian?
I did hear him. And I did feel his touch in my life. At some point in my life, I was so tired of just being like a sheep, just a follower. I didn't want to be a Christian just because my parents were.
Yeah. Find your own faith.
So I did a lot of research. I read a lot of books. And I asked for answers many times. And I heard his voice. Not once, not twice. I have all of them with the dates and times in the back of my Bible.
Yeah.
And when somebody asks me, prove me God exists, you're alive. You're a human being. If somebody asks me, prove me Juliet exists, I'll be like, why are you asking me? Go ask her. If she's alive, she can talk for herself. Why are you asking me to prove that she exists?
Yeah.
And 99.9% of the people that I tell them, why don't you ask God to show himself to you? They don't.
They don't.
Maybe they're afraid. Maybe they forget about it, whatever the reason is. But they don't actually go after it. They say, oh, I did and I didn't get an answer. No, you didn't. Did you really ask him to talk to you?
Yeah.
If you hear his voice, can you imagine hearing his voice? They don't. They don't ask him.
I think there's a lot of fear, especially in the queer community. And I have to admit, as you were talking, I'm afraid of that too. I am. I mean, I grew up Jewish, but I'm definitely more of a spiritual person. I believe in the universe, and I definitely believe in a higher power. I don't think we're here alone, and I think everything happens for a reason, and I believe in divine timing and all of that. I definitely believe that there's something out there, but I don't know, the word God and being so ingrained into queer culture, the word God is it can be so scary for people. Yeah. So it sounds scary. How did you embrace it?
Oh, it's not.
It's nothing.
First time I heard his voice, I felt like I'm in love. It's just so calm and just so much love. And, in life, whoever you have in your life, no matter how close you are with them, family members, love of your life, best friends ever, anybody can leave you.
Yeah.
Every kind of love that you experience has conditions. If you keep fucking up, the love of your life will leave you.
True.
But his love, this is my own experience. I'm not saying people go become Christian. I'm just saying this is my experience.
Yeah.
I have atheist friends. I have Jewish friends. I have, spiritual friends. Every kind of friends. I have Muslim friends. As long as I see you're trying to be a better human being, you have my respect and you will be my life.
Yeah.
That's all I care. I'm not going to sit here advertise what I'm believing in.
Yeah.
But that's the only love that I'm more than 100% sure is unconditional.
Mm-hmm.
When people judge me for believing, I always tell them, I'm like, don't judge me because I sin different than you do. I'm a human being. Of course I'm going to mess up.
Yeah, of
So
course.
what?
It's part of being human.
But I know it's unconditional.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to his presence, I'm loved.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I mess up, when I recognize, when I go back and I say, Lord, I'm sorry. Like, I know I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me. I know I'm forgiven.
Yeah.
I know he's always there. Always. And it feels good.
Yeah.
That even though no other love in my life is guaranteed till
Mm-hmm.
the end, that one love is. And it just feels amazing.
And you speak about it with such passion too. I hear it in your voice. And that's so beautiful. I've always looked to people who are very religious, and I think, wow, that's so beautiful that you feel so deeply and passionately about something.
Yeah.
Something so much bigger than yourself.
It is.
Yeah.
I have a prayer I say every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Every single morning I say, Lord, I want your wisdom in my brain. I
Mm-hmm.
want your love in my heart, and I want your peace in my soul.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to teach me to love unconditionally.
Yeah.
But I will also want his wisdom, because if I learn to love unconditionally, that doesn't mean that I'm going to let people abuse me.
Yeah.
You need wisdom too. It's
Yeah,
not
you
just
do.
about
Yeah.
being stupidly loving everyone. It's
Yeah.
not
It's not
that.
about walking around
No.
blind with your heart open.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to build foundations and you want to have boundaries with people, which has been really hard for me to learn. It's very hard for me to say no, but I've been walked all over so many times in your life, or in your life, in my life. I've been walked all over a lot. And, you know, I'm getting to this point where I'm like, you know, I want to lead with kindness, but I also think kindness is building boundaries.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You forgive them, not for them, for your own peace.
For your own peace, yeah.
You feel good when you forgive, but that doesn't mean you have to stay in contact with them.
Very true. Oh my God, I was talking to someone the other day, and in a sense I admire this, but I was talking to her and she said, I've never, not once, burnt a bridge. And I was like, how? I was like, how have you not burned bridges? Oh my God. I mean, the hardest thing for me is I've had to make peace with the fact that I know people think I'm the villain in their story. And by the way, sometimes I have been. I wholeheartedly admit that. I am a human being. I have messed up many, many times. But that's still a very hard thing for me to accept because I try so hard to lead with kindness. But at the same time, as you said, we're all sinners. I'm a human being. I mess up frequently.
Yeah, of course.
And I've hurt people, and I know that, you know, and I own that.
Sometimes it takes me months to forgive someone.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, I'm a saint sitting here able to love everybody. No.
No.
Like sometimes I feel so much pain. Even when I end up forgiving the person, still it hits me here and there.
Of course, yeah.
Still sometimes, especially if I have a few shots, just like
You want
comes
whiskey?
back at me. But
Yeah, I
you
get
learn.
it. Yeah.
It's just, you just got to accept. I'm a human being. I have a lot of flaws. I'm not complete. But just the fact that you're trying, that's enough.
You're trying. Yeah,
Just
exactly.
keep trying. It's okay. It's okay.
You gotta, leading with forgiveness is such a virtue, but it's so hard. I mean, I get it. Sometimes it takes me years to forgive a person. And again, that goes back to being human, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, kind of along those lines, will you talk to me about your relationships? What have they looked like?
Oh, God. This was not one of the questions.
Not my giggle. All right, let me rephrase it.
All right.
The exact question was, what have your past relationships looked like?
Oh, God.
And what are you looking for now?
Right now, I'm not looking for a relationship.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm too busy building my own quindom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very
Yes, I love that you said that.
Oh, yeah. I'm
going to
it.
take that.
Yeah.
Queendom. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very concentrated. And I recently became single, so it's fresh. It's still... Oh, God. This is
Throw the confetti. Throw the confetti.
But
You're like, God forgive me.
no unconditional love for you.
You don't. You can keep it super vague. It's
Um,
okay. You don't have to answer anything you're uncomfortable with.
When a relationship ends, it's not just all bad and red flags.
Yeah.
You create very good moments with people. And I learned that I should embrace those.
Yeah.
I should always keep them in mind. I'm friends with some of my exes.
Well, you just mentioned one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Mila is my bro.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Well, once upon a time wasn't, but
Yeah.
now it's a
You
bro,
know,
but,
it is what it is.
if it's not meant to be with someone, that doesn't mean that they're monsters. You know, like, for example, me and Mila, I know if she hears this, she's going to be very supportive. That's why I keep using her as an example. But,
Yeah.
we did have a great relationship, but our problems were way more than our great times. And our fights,
Bad.
bad.
You have told me some horror stories about that relationship.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
our fights were crazy.
Yeah.
We would not survive alive out of that relationship if it would keep going. And she's happily ever after with Zach, because Zach is such a sweetheart. He's just like, it's meant to be. They're for each other.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't meant to be for me, that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person or she's a bad person. It just didn't click.
Yeah.
But we did have great moments, and I do believe she's a good person. We all have our flaws, but if a relationship is not working, I don't think we should go walk around and create a monster out of that person, because every single person has it. I had my flaws too. I messed up way too many times.
Yeah.
And I learned my mistakes the hard way. But if it didn't work, it doesn't mean that they were bad. Maybe it takes a while, you become friends again, or maybe you never become friends again. But I think it's really important to just let them go in peace and genuinely wish them all the best.
Yeah.
Want their happiness.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to that forgiveness.
Yes.
Because when someone hurts you so deeply, and I know you so well, I've known you over the past few years, I know everything that you've been through, and I know you've been through a world of pain. But the way that you handle it now is so graceful. And I think that's to be admired, because it's so easy to villainize the people that have hurt you. And again, this is something that I do. This is something that I do. I'm definitely not how do I phrase this? I'm not immune to it. You know, it's easy for me to be like, oh God, this person sucks. They hurt me so much. But at the same time, that does nothing. What I've realized is when I start thinking that way, that does nothing but bring me down and make me more upset, and again, turn me into the victim. Because once you've turned yourself into a victim, it's very easy to recoil and think, I have no control over my life. Yeah. And it's all very subconscious. It is. Because once you start thinking that things are happening to you, then you lose all control.
Yes.
Life doesn't... Okay. Very few things in life happen to you. Most things happen for you. But even still, I mean, there's so much nuance there. I could say, like, my mom had cancer for 4 years. And in every way, shape, or form, that shit was so unfair, because my mom was a saint. She was sunshine in a human being, the most wonderful person I have ever met to date. She did not deserve anything that happened to her. Yeah. Like, it is so unfair, and sometimes it makes me really, really angry. And in that instance, I would say that life happens to you. But at the same time, and this is going to sound horrible, at the same time, her death and her passing, it made me grow so much as a person, and I am a hell of a lot stronger than I was when she was here. Yeah, it changes you. That type of loss, it changes you to your core. Yeah. And you'll never be the same. The person of you that had, the version of you that had a mom is dead. It died with her. And you have to get to know this new version of yourself. It does change you to the very core. Yeah. So, again, there's nuance there. It's like, yes, it's so unfair, especially her suffering. Like, that was not fair, and that was life happening to her. But for me, yes, it's horrible that I lost my mom, and it is unfair, but at the same time, it did make me grow so much as a person. And I'm grateful for the person that I am now. Yeah.
That's amazing to have a positive perspective no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm. And I'm also grateful that I had her in the first place, because again, she was the best mom in the world. I can't say a bad thing about her. And I had her for 24 years, which is a lot longer than some people have their moms. And, you know, what if I had a worse mom?
Yeah.
So that helps me too. It helps me, if I stay grateful that I had her, helps me get through the pain of it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's kind of,
I think one of the things that hurts people like me and you a lot is we're so used to feeling responsible for everything happening to the people around us.
yeah.
And I don't know where is it coming from. I mean, probably my case, maybe being responsible for my family, my mom being a single mom, maybe that was the reason behind it. And I got hurt a lot because of that, because most of the relationships that I had, I felt responsible to solve their problems for them.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you're doing too much for someone, like they keep making a mistake and you keep solving it because you don't want to see them getting hurt.
Yeah.
Or you just, I don't know, you just feel like you have to protect them day and night.
Yeah.
You're actually not doing good to them. You're slowing down the process of them learning something.
Yeah.
And becoming a better version of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes you have to let people hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And that is such a sad thing to do, especially when you love a person, I'm going to say unconditionally. It's very hard when you're watching them go through something and you have to just let go and think they have to hit rock bottom, because at the end of the day, they have to learn their lesson, you know? Yeah. And God knows how many times I've hit rock bottom. Yeah. And every single time I have, it has turned me into a better version of myself, because you have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going. Yeah. And I mean, what's the alternative? Recoil, do nothing with your life.
It's rough love.
Yeah.
I used to be a very crazy person. And I would never listen, and I would just mess up a lot.
Yeah.
But my cousin and my best friend, they decided to stop protecting me and let me actually hit the rock bottom.
Yeah.
And I actually learned. Mm-hmm. So I'm not mad at them for doing it. I'm actually appreciative. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing it to the person and they go through it, they feel the pain, they learn if they actually learn the lesson and they, you know, think about it again, they will realize that you did something nice for them. Actually,
yeah, eventually. I mean, it could take years, but eventually I think people will understand that you actually did something good for them and their overall development. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've been through this many times, and I end up thanking the people in the end. Forgive, and then you thank them for pushing you forward. Exactly. Even when you didn't want it.
Yeah. No, you never want it.
You never want it.
Get used to doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's very true. Well, I'm, again, shifting gears, but I want to hear about your business mindset. Oh. No. You're like, God, what is the question? No, I want to hear about your business mindset, because I know you're such an entrepreneur at heart and you're such a hustler. I mean, 5 jobs. You were telling me that you got a degree in Iran and it didn't even count here. No. So you had to completely start from scratch. And honestly, she won't say this, but I will. She makes bank. All right. She's someone to be. Yes, she does. She's someone to be respected, guys. But really. I want to hear about your business mindset. Like, what drives you forward? What motivates you?
Passive income. I want to retire early.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on, you know, like just working for the rest of my, you know, like I deal with a lot of very rich people.
Yeah.
At my workplace, and one thing they have in common mostly is they never stop. Mm-hmm. It's like no matter how much they have, they want more and they want more, and then it's just like it never stops. I don't want that. Mm-hmm. I do want to have a good life. I believe I deserve it. I've been through so much, and I do want a high quality life. Mm-hmm. But when I get to a point that I know I created enough passive income so I can actually do what I like, I will stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, passive income is kind of the goal.
Maybe another 10 years.
Another 10 years of working.
Hopefully. Like I'm hoping that the plan work, and exactly 10 years from now, I can actually retire myself. And I can still work, but not for the money. Yeah. Doing actually something that I like. It might make money, it might not. Maybe it'd be non-profit, whatever it is, but something that will...
Something that makes you passionate, or something that you're passionate about. But what inspires you? Is it just the idea of a passive income?
It might sound funny, but when I was very young, one of my favorite hobbies was to go and in Middle East, old people, they get bored a lot, and they always sit on these little chairs on the street.
Yeah.
So they play games or they talk for hours. One of my favorite hobbies was to just go sit next to them and ask them for their life stories.
Oh,
and it was so fun.
Yeah.
Like, it might sound boring, but it's so fun.
Yeah.
Like, they have so many cool stories. And throughout the years, I heard a lot of people's different stories. So it wasn't limited to old people anymore. It was like other people, like young people, whatever. Like, every single person has so much throughout the years in their life. It's just so cool to know about people's stories.
Yeah.
So I came up with the idea of this idea popped in my head like maybe 7-8 years ago. What if I hear people's stories, I share them with others, and I be the way to provide what they need? It can be financial, it can be just a desk, whatever it is. It can be love, it can be anything. But I want to be free enough that I can hear more stories.
Yeah. I love that.
It's just cool. I don't know. I really like that.
No, I love
stories.
that. I agree. Actually, I have a funny story. So a few months ago, I was at Mel's Drive-In, and I just left the Abbey. I don't do that. I promise. Yeah, I don't know where that is, actually. I have no clue. I don't know what the Abbey is. Anyway, I just left there, and it was probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's ridiculous. I know.
Appreciate the invite.
It was a Wednesday night. There was no way in hell. Like, I'm sorry. There was no way in hell. No. I stopped texting you at some point. I'm like, she's going to say no. She's not going to do that.
Not me anymore.
Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, it was a Wednesday night. So left, went to Mel's. Again, it was probably 3 or 4 in the morning. And this random guy, I love to call them Hollywood relics because they are Hollywood relics. It's so funny. But have you ever seen those guys in like nice suits, definitely wearing a toupee with sunglasses on, and you just know they were a producer back in the day? Yeah. So that type walked up and sat with us, and he sat with us for maybe 10 minutes. It wasn't too long, but I was immediately drawn and fascinated by this person because I thought, okay, this guy's definitely a producer in some way, shape, or form, retired producer. He sits down with us. He starts telling us his life story. And I was 100% right. He was a Hollywood producer for National Geographic, I believe. Nice. And I swear to God, all of us at the table were just fascinated by this man. And all he wanted to do was sit down and talk to younger people because I could tell that it kind of nourished his soul. But I was asking him so many questions, and the guy just had the most interesting life. And then he stood up and walked away. He sat with us for 10 minutes, told us his life story, gave us some life advice, and then left. And all of us look at each other and go, was that a ghost? was that real? But I love when stuff like that happens because you can learn so much from people, especially when they're a little bit older too. Yeah.
Every single person has a cool story.
Every person has a cool story. Yeah. I always try to remember that before I judge people. Like, this is cool to remember, but I always think your first instinct when someone is immediately rude to you, like maybe they're rude to you on the street, they bump into you, they don't apologize. Your first instinct is to go, you asshole. Yeah. But at the same time, you could stop and go, that had nothing to do with me. And it doesn't have anything to do with you. I don't know, maybe something horrible happened to them that morning. Maybe they got fired, or maybe there's something...
Just having a bad day.
Just having a bad day.
Or maybe they're actually an asshole. But
or maybe they're an asshole. Yeah, true. But I would say 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you, and they're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
I like to believe that people are good. Maybe that gets me in trouble. But but I like to believe that people are good.
Yeah, no, they are mostly.
Yeah, but I try to go in with that mindset. But it doesn't mean
that you have to have every single one of them in your life.
Yeah, exactly. You've taught me this. Small circle.
Small circle.
Small
you can
circle.
Move mountains with one of two good friends.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need I used to have an army.
Yeah.
I was alone, surrounded with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that back.
Wow. I love that quote. That is a quotable line. That's a very quotable line. Alone, surrounded by a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people feel that, especially in a city like LA, because it can be so lonely at times. You can be in a crowded room, surrounded by all different types of people, all walks of life, and you can feel the loneliest you've ever felt. Mm-hmm. God knows I've felt that way. And it also kind of depends on the environment. I mean, sometimes I'm in a crowded room and I feel surrounded by love. But other times, many times, I feel so alone and lonely. Like,
Yeah, you just keep the cool face and you act like you're the cool kid that always parties or like is always knows everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I came to terms with that recently. Yeah. I realized, I was talking to my therapist about this. Yes, I have a therapist. I was talking to her about this, and I was like, I came to the conclusion recently that I have wasted a lot of my time trying to be cool. And again, it's just a waste of time. Because you stop caring about that shit, and then you free yourself.
Yeah, you're the coolest with the right people without trying.
Yeah.
Remember, we were talking about it right before we get into the building. You got to hang out with the ones that you don't have to try to be anybody except yourself. You're never worried about being judged. You're just simply yourself, and you're not worried about anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are the best.
What they're going to think, what they're going to say. If they judge you, they're not the right friends. I'm not saying they're bad people, but it's not clicking.
Yeah,
Let
it
them
doesn't
have
fit.
the right friends.
Yeah, it doesn't fit. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Sometimes it's just not a right fit. Yeah. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. Of course not. But sometimes it doesn't fit, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But there have been many times where I've feared being judged, and I think I've spent a lot of my 20s, my adult life, fearing being judged.
Yep, I had that too.
Yeah, and it's held me back. It's made me make many, many mistakes. Yeah, it's just fear that holds you back.
It's an empty fear.
It's an empty fear. She's quotable. She's quotable as fuck. All right, I'm saving all of this.
Do you have any other surprising questions?
No.
Okay.
No. But okay, I guess the last question. How do you keep such a good head on your shoulders? Because you have such a grounding energy. What did you say?
Why?
Yes. I would say you have a very grounding energy. You do. It's very... You're Taurus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Earth sign. I'm a Capricorn. So we love the grounding energy.
Very stubborn.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, you are. You're totally stubborn.
Yeah.
But how do you keep such a good head on your shoulders after everything you've been through?
Life is too short.
Yeah.
I was watching this reel today. It was talking about in 100 years, other people are going to be living in your house. Other people are going to be using whatever you own now, if there's anything left from them.
I saw this video.
Yeah, or maybe a few days after you die, people will talk about you. A few weeks later, they won't even mention your name. And then, do you remember your grandpa's name? No. It all goes away. It's just, it's too short.
Yeah.
I cannot believe in a few years I'll be 40 years old.
Oh my God.
I cannot believe. Like, I thought I will stay 17, 18 forever. It just keeps going, and you lose all the precious moments with people. And let's be honest, whoever hates you will hate you anyways. What am I going to do about it? There's nothing I can do about it. The best I can do is to just surround myself with great people and enjoy my life as long as I have it. Like, that's it. Like, I'm not a perfect person. I experienced enough pain, and I cared too much for long enough, and it hurt me enough that at some point I was like, I'm done with caring what people think, what they say, what they believe. If you're giving me an advice, I'm not going to take it right away. I'll think about it. I'll digest it. I'll make sure it's right. And yes, I might accept it. But that's all. Like, if you try to push me, bye-bye. You're not in my life anymore.
Yeah.
I always say, I'm like, you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. You're not nice to me, I'll leave you. I'm not going to waste my time even fighting with you.
Yeah. That's a good mentality to have, because I've always kind of had this fear of abandonment. Although I will say, as of recent, it's getting less and less. Like, I'm starting to accept the fact that people come and go, and that's just natural. It is part of life. And at the end of the day, you'll survive. You'll be fine no matter what. And this is another thing I think about all the time, but I lost my mom. That's the worst thing that could have happened to me. And if I got through that...
What else can hurt you?
Exactly. If I got through that, then what else is there to go through that's worse?
Yeah, exactly.
I've already been through the worst kind of pain. So, yeah, that's a good mentality to have. We trying to wrap it up. Well, okay. Obviously, this was very heavy at some points.
Yeah.
She's like... I sent her the questions ahead of time, guys. I did.
Not the last one.
The last one? Yes.
The one before last.
Okay, the one before last. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm trying to improv here. But I want to end with something kind of fun. So, fun, stupid question. But if you had celebrity status for 24 hours, what would you do with it?
Oh. I would send my security guards after certain people.
Oh my God. That is such an Armenian answer.
What would I do if I had celebrity status for
24 hours? What would you do?
24 hours. Oh, I would contact every celebrity out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I would make crazy, like, business deals with them. So when the 24-hour status is over, I'm rich. I think I'll just make a business move.
I told you guys, she's super business-minded.
Or something, I'll just contact every
Just contact
I'll have my manager contact every single one of them.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so smart.
God.
That is such a good answer. That is such a good answer. I love that.
I would use the connection, the power of connection.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do. I honestly have no idea how I would answer that question. I feel like I would do the same thing. Try to make as many connections as possible.
Yeah. So when it's over,
you
have something left.
Yeah.
Other than hangover.
Like, I'm not famous anymore and I have a hangover.
Yeah.
God, that is the worst possible way to wake up.
Yeah.
No, I'm not supposed to talk.
Uh-huh.
But question for both of you. What moment made you guys realize we're friends? This is
Oh, that's a
Oh,
good question.
shit.
Okay, I'll repeat the question in case you can't hear it on off screen. But what was the moment that made us realize that you and I are friends?
The
It's
night
hesitation
that
for me.
you and Bobby ended up coming to me and Morgan's place, and I made you guys that greasy, fatty
Oh my God,
snack.
that was so good.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my God.
Yeah, I think that day I was like, well, I like this guy.
Yeah, I like
At
this-
first, I didn't
yeah.
like you because I thought you were trying to flirt with my ex.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Little I knew you were
Yeah.
into tomboys, so I was the target, not her. But
I mean, okay. I will say the first night I met you, oh, I got such a death stare. You were also in a Joker outfit.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
it
was
was
the Joker
also,
that night.
added layer of intimidation on top of you already being intimidating.
You were staring at me, and
I
I was
was.
thinking you have a problem with me.
No, I thought you were. I thought she was cute. I was over there like, yeah,
What's up?
she's
And I'm like-
definitely attractive. Listen, I'll admit to it.
Yeah, this was a friendship that started with.
That's what I thought when I first met you, and you were I could tell. You were like, this tomboy is staring at me. What's the deal here?
Yeah.
What's the deal here? And I was like, oh, she's cute. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But no, I had no interest whatsoever. But yeah, when we first started hanging out, I think we had run into each other at the Abbey, like right when it opened up after the pandemic. And this is the moment for me, at least. And you and I talked for 5 hours at that table. You don't remember that?
No. Probably I was drunk.
Probably.
don't
I like how that memory sticks
I don't
out to me and she
remember
doesn't
90%
remember
of
it.
my drunk. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Let me tell you.
I have no idea
Let's
what we
eat
were
food.
talking about. I think we were talking about the fact that we had been secluded in our houses for however so many months.
Probably. I talk a lot when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I talk so much.
You talk a lot anyway.
And my accent double triples. Yeah, but yeah, I met you through my ex,
Yeah, true. And we stuck.
and we became friends.
We stuck.
Yeah, kind of. But it's a cool friendship. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
feel blessed.
I do too. Seriously, you are a blessing in my life. I'm so grateful for
Yeah,
you.
it's a genuine friendship. I like that
Mm-hmm.
we can, we can give each other advice, call each other out on the mistakes that
Yeah.
we make, and we don't just lose it and get mad. Like, we actually
Mhm.
think about it, and I like
Yeah.
that we can communicate without being scared.
We respect each other, I think, because I have a deep, deep respect for you, if that hasn't come across in
Yeah,
this
good.
entire interview. I obviously respect you a lot, and I look up to you in many ways. It's true.
Appreciate it.
But you're one of my best friends, and I'm so grateful for you. You're one of the biggest blessings in my
I
life.
appreciate it.
Yeah. And I love that the friendship, it's lasted so long, and
Yeah, it's been a while.
it's not that I didn't expect it to last long, but sometimes you don't. When you first meet a person, you never know how long they're going to stay in your life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think our friendship took a while to develop. But there is a mutual respect here that can't be understated. And this is the thing. I know I'm comfortable with you if I can give you like straight up advice without worrying I'm going to lose you.
Yeah.
Because I have like worried about that in the past, where if I talk to this person about whatever is going on in their life or however I'm feeling about a situation, am I going to lose them? Are they going to freak out? Whatever it may be. Is it going to turn into a fight? And I've never, not once, feared that with you. And how many times have I called you and been like, bro, what are you doing?
Stop. Oh shit, I did it again.
But I mean, you've done the same thing to me. Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, and I love that we have that kind of relationship, and that's how you know it's real. You know a friend loves you no matter what.
Yeah.
When they're willing
Exactly.
to give it to you straight.
That's a true friendship.
That's a true friendship. I love that about our dynamic. That's a very good question. Yeah.
Thank you, me.
Very good.
Here to help.
Appreciate it. But thank you so much for coming on. I love that
Thanks
you were
for
my
having
first
me.
guest.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I hope I did good.
Oh, you did amazing.
Right.
You did amazing, right?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Anyway, tell the people what you're up to, where they can find you, if you want them to find you.
What should I say? Well, my Instagram is very private. They can message me. They cannot remember my last name if I say it on my Instagram. Not gonna work.
I have to say, I've been friends
Right.
with you for 5 years. I still have a hard time pronouncing your last name.
Sometimes I have problems.
You do? God, I don't even want to
Yeah.
try.
I'm in car business, so
Shahian.
if you guys want
Shah?
cars.
Hian. Okay.
Shahian.
Okay, I was fucking it up. I was Shahian.
Yeah.
That's how I was pronouncing it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. All right, I wasn't fucking
In
it up
America,
then.
they say Shahian, but it's
Hian?
Shahian.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to say, my brother-in-law did help me with the pronunciation. Not specifically of your name, but when I learned to pronounce his last name, I was like, okay, I got this. All right, your Instagram's private, so...
Yeah, it's pretty private.
Range Rover if you need a car.
Yeah,
If
I
you
work
need a
for
car.
Jaguar Land Rover LA,
hmm
and I'm doing real estate on the side now.
She's about to
So-
kill it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. And I love you so much.
I read this thing. I'll say this in the note.
Go.
A few days ago, it said, a Rolex doesn't have any value if it tells you when your lunch break is over. And it hit me hard.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, yeah, I don't want a Rolex if I have lunch breaks.
Wow.
Yeah.
There have been many
That
times.
really motivated me.
Oh, my God. Again, she's so quotable.
Yeah.
Multiple times in this episode, I'm like, wow. that hits very, very hard. All right. Thank you so much
I
again.
appreciate you.
I love you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. He's so funny. All right. We'll wrap this up.